Hello everyone, very good evening. So today we are going to discuss the perfect subject order that you can utilize to score maximum marks in the GATE exam. And along with that, we are going to discuss the mock test plan, that how exactly you must attempt your mock test, subject wise test, mixed test, so that in the end you can maximize your marks, right? So this will be the motive of this particular session, that perfect subject order, what are the things that must be read together, and how should I plan my mock test so that I can actually maximize my marks or I can score some extra marks. Okay, so the very first thing that you must have is, sir, we cannot score good marks without mastering the core subjects. So, what are the core subjects in computer science and engineering? Everything is core. If I say so, you can leave 2 or 3 subjects. Not you cannot leave, but you can keep the 2 or 3 subjects out of the category of the core subject, but everything else will be core, right? So, aptitude may not be core, but 15 marks. So, it is again important. Then, compiler design is a subsystem of POC, but again, minimum efforts, but maximum marks. So, not maximum marks, but greedy algorithm. If I say the efforts you will put, so in terms of efforts, what will be the output that is maximized in terms of compiler design, right? So, that's the idea, that build strong core subjects first. So, the very core idea of first focusing on the core subject is to have confidence. If you are good in your core subjects, then the confidence will boost up and other subjects will eventually follow. So that's the very first thing. Then next thing is, then move to application based subjects and the high scoring subjects. So we'll discuss, we'll categorize them, that what are the core subjects. Then what do I mean by application based or high scoring subjects? And another thing, sir, once you are done with these two things, that you are done with your core subjects, you are working on the application based subjects, or you are working on the subjects those are high scoring, then you need to integrate the mock test along with your preparation. Some of these students will be like, I'll focus on the mock test only. It is not going to help. Some of these students will be like, I'll complete all the subjects. Then in the month of January itself, I'll start giving the mock test. It will also not help. So you need to integrate the conceptual learning along with the mock test. Apart from that, there is no other way to crack the GATE. I mean, this is the best approach to crack the GATE exam. So regularly integrate mock test along with your preparation and revision loop. That means one subject is complete, revise it, give test. Within 1 month, revise it once again. Again, try to give the test of that particular subject. Within 1 month, try to revise the subject once again and give the test once again. So, I will categorize into 2 parts. Revision loop. So, revise your subjects as many times as possible. Boost accuracy and time efficiency. These are 2 important things. And you can work on these 2 things only if you appear for the mock test. So without mock test, you don't know that how good is your accuracy and whether you are able to complete all the questions, whether you are able to answer all the questions within the given time frame or not, right? So first of all, focus on the core subjects, then the high scoring subjects, then the application based subject, then integrate your mock test along with your regular preparation, and revision loop is required that within 1 month, every subject that has been completed must be revised, and then while attempting the mock test, focus on accuracy and time efficiency. So we will discuss all these things. The very first thing is that, sir, what should be the subject order to maximize the marks? Let me tell you a very basic thing. So discrete mathematics is a core. One of the concepts that is discussed in the discrete mathematics is the concept of counting, and another concept that is discussed in the discrete mathematics is is concept of sets, and this too can be applied in almost all these subjects. Along with that, digital logic will also become a core because it will help you in understanding the computer organization and architecture. At the same time, it will help you to understand the operating system. So this too eventually become the core foundation. So whether if we discuss discrete mathematics, we'll also talk about graph theory, and graph theory will help you in terms of algorithm. Such a relation will help you in almost every subject, right? Then set and forget about such a relation. If you are DA aspirants, then mathematical logic is definitely going to help you in the terms of artificial intelligence, and combinatorics is going to help you again in all these subjects. Okay, so this too will eventually make the core foundation or core subjects, that is, they are going, I mean, they can be utilized almost everywhere. Next thing is programming and data structure and algorithm. So algorithm is basically the application of graph theory and along with the concept of programming and data structure, because if you don't know the data structure, you cannot understand the algorithm. So these two subjects will go hand in hand. So first thing is logic and discrete mathematics. Second thing is programming and data structure along with algorithm. Next thing will be system core. So when I say system core, there are two system related subjects. One will be computer organization and architecture. Next will be the operating system. For both of them, digital logic will become the core. For both of them, digital logic will become the core. Clear? So, as far as discrete mathematics is concerned, it's all about logics that will, in the discrete mathematics and digital logic, we'll try to create the logic that will be required throughout the preparation of gate. Programming and data structure is required because it is highest scoring subject if we talk about programming and data structure and algorithm. So these three things together will be 20 plus marks. Just like we say that aptitude and engineering mathematics in from the computer science point of view, engineering mathematics will include engineering mathematics, that is linear algebra, calculus, probability, permutation and combination, and along with that discrete mathematics. So all that thing will amount for 13 marks and 15 marks for aptitude. So yeah, 28 marks are fixed for engineering mathematics plus discrete mathematics and aptitude. But apart from that, from the core subjects, from the core syllabus of computer science and engineering, programming, data structure and algorithm will amount for more than 20 marks. It's definitely going to be more than 20 marks. I have never seen any GATE exam in which programming, data structure and algorithm together is asked for less than 20 marks. So it is a mass focused topic. So after you are done with the core subjects of computer science, you can go for highest scoring subject, then you can go for system core. Now, why exactly computer science and operating system is kept at the third point? Now, the thing is that these are the two subjects in which most of the students will struggle. So, as early as you complete these two subjects, you will get more and more time to repetitively revise the concepts of these two particular subjects. And if you revise properly, if you try to focus on the core concepts of computer organization and operating system, it is the rank making. These two are actually the rank making subjects. If you are somewhere around 50-55 marks, then the main difference will appear, or main difference will occur because of computer organization and operating system, right? So these two subjects will again make a strong base for computer science and engineering field. So obviously, most of the time the questions that are asked from the computer organization and operating system are tricky. So as early as you complete these two subjects will be helpful for you. So what is the core area on which you must focus? If I say strategy behind the computer organization and operating system, so conceptual clarity is most important from the computer organization point of view and operating system point of view. Then formula, when I say formula, my primary focus with respect to computer organization and architecture will be to derive the formula of computer organization and architecture, that how exactly those formulas are derived. So when we discuss the formula for memory organization, or when we discuss the formula for paging, then how exactly those formulas are derived will help you to understand the concept at the inner level. And if any tweak is there, most of the time, 90% of the time, let me tell you very honestly, 90% of time the formulas that we discuss in the class will not be asked directly from the computer organization point of view and operating system point of view. They will give you some statement in the question, and if you don't have the proper conceptual clarity, then the derivation of the formula will become difficult for you. So that's the idea. So I have kept it at the third level, that try to understand the computer organization and architecture in depth, along with the conceptual clarity of the concepts associated with those subjects, and please try to understand that what is important to define the formulas that are being used in computer organization and architecture, so that if any tweak is there, you are able to modify the formula appropriately. Okay. So focus on CPU scheduling and memory management. So this is just a statement which tells you that most of the time the questions that has been asked from operating system are related to CPU scheduling and memory management. If we talk about computer organization architecture, there is no year in which they didn't ask a question related to cache or memory organization, I would say, not only with respect to cache, but there is no year in which they didn't ask a question related to memory organization or pipelining. So focus on memory organization and pipelining. So we are done with the discrete mathematics and logic, that are the core subjects. We are done with the highest scoring subject. We are done with the subjects that will require the maximum revision. Now the next thing is, sir, you may think that, sir, TOC and CD, why these two are together? Compiler design may not have that much weightage, but as I said, if you think in terms of greedy algorithm, the efforts that are required to score maximum or full marks in compiler design are very less compared to any other subject. So compiler design will require only 40 to 50 hours, and it is definite that you can score full marks in the compiler design. But before you start learning the concept of compiler design, I'll always suggest to learn the concept of theory of computation, because in theory of computation we'll define the regular language and regular grammar, as well as context-free language and context-free grammar. So regular language and context-free, regular grammar and context-free grammar will eventually work as a core for compiler design. So this is the order. So I'm just defining the order, then in which order you must learn these subjects. Then these two subjects, if we talk about computer network and database management system. So computer network is not related to any one of these subjects apart from the basics of counting. Database management system also is not related to any one of this prerequisite as apart from the basics of counting. In database management system especially, there will be more weightage of counting compared to computer network. Computer network is basically a core subject with respect to computer science point of view, in which they will eventually ask the basic concepts, just how exactly the communication will be performed between two different systems. So, if we talk about computer networks, yes, it's a standalone subject. If we talk about DBMS, it is also a standalone subject. These two do not have any prerequisite in terms of discrete mathematics, digital logic, programming and data structure, algorithm, computer organization, operating system, TOC, compiler design. None of them are required to understand the concept of computer network, and none of them is required to understand the concept of DBMS. But the questions that are being asked from computer network and DBMS are quite static in nature. When I say quite static in nature, so especially the questions of these two subjects will be purely based on the concept that we discuss in the class. If we talk about system subject, that is computer organization and architecture, and operating system, then the question that will be asked in the GATE exam will be related to the concept that you have learned or studied in your classroom program, but it will again require some extra analysis, or it will again require some aptitude to answer those questions. But as far as computer network and database management system is concerned, the questions that will be asked in the GATE exam will be direct. If you have learned the concept in the class, the question will be asked from those concepts only. If you know the formula that you learned in the class, if you know the concept that you learned in the class, then those concepts can be applied directly on those questions, and you will be able to answer the question without any problem. So the next thing that I'll suggest is to go with computer network and database management system. Then engineering mathematics, oh, that is something I should not write at this two. I have defined them as phase 5 because these two things, that is engineering mathematics and general aptitude, there is no order. There is no order for, but I cannot say that study engineering mathematics and general aptitude along with phase 1, study engineering mathematics and general aptitude along with phase 2 as well, phase 3 as well, phase 4 as well, phase 5 as well, and phase 6 as well, right? But my suggestion is that if you want to maximize your score, then just try to integrate engineering mathematics and aptitude along with the preparation of all other subjects, like I have asked you to integrate mock test along with her preparation. So engineering mathematics and general aptitude must be a regular thing, because if at all a question is asked, and so as far as engineering mathematics is concerned, the syllabus of engineering mathematics is quite small for the computer science engineers, but still, if you want to know that, sir, what will be the weightage of these two subjects, so 15 marks for general aptitude is fixed. 4 to 6 marks will be the weightage of engineering mathematics for computer science students. So these two together can amount for 20 or 20 plus marks in your exam. So if we do not talk about engineering mathematics, then definitely general aptitude must be solved at a regular basis. Every day try to spend 1 hour or half hour to 1 hour or 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes to solve the questions of general aptitude, and along with that 30 minutes will be sufficient for engineering mathematics because the syllabus is less for computer science student. So on the daily basis, try to spare 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes together for engineering mathematics and aptitude if you want to maximize your score. This is it. If we talk about phase 7, so revision and mock phase. When I say phase 7, then phase 7 will be revision and mock phase. That is, on the regular basis, you need to revise your subjects, and on a timely basis, you need to appear for the mock test. So let me discuss the next thing. That will be the strategy to appear for the mock test. I don't think there should be any problem that why exactly this order has been defined. Discrete mathematics and digital logic will create the core for almost all the subjects. Programming and data structure and algorithm are the highest scoring subjects. Computer organization and operating system will require maximum number of revisions. Theory of computation and compiler design are hand in hand subjects. That means these two will go together. So if at all is required, then you can swap. If at all swapping is possible, then swapping is possible between phase 4 and phase 5 as per your understanding. If you are like, that's I first want to complete computer network and database management system, and then I want to complete theory of computation and compiler design, that's perfectly fine. These two subjects will have almost equal weightage. The amount of time that is required, in terms of the marks that you can obtain will have almost equal weightage, because computer network is quite lengthy subject. So when you say, sir, computer network and database management system together is asked for 14 to 16 marks, and theory of computation and compiler design together is asked only for 10 to 12 marks. So if we talk about these two subjects, computer network will eventually require the double of the time that are required for, at least these two subjects, theory of computation and compiler design will require at least 1.5 times of these time. Computer network and DBMS will require at least 1.5 of the times that is required to complete the concept of theory of computation and compiler design. So if we look in terms of greedy algorithm, then the benefit that you will achieve in terms of marks will be almost same, whether you first work on computer networks and database management system and then you work on TOC and compiler design, or first you work on TOC and compiler design and then you work on computer network and database management system. So the greedy algorithm, if you think in terms of greedy algorithm, this two will have almost equal weightage. So phase 4 and phase 5 can be exchanged. There will be no problem. What are you asking, Vinay? Sir, this time IIT Guwahati is making so. Let me tell you very honestly that subjects will, or what subjects are important is not at all relevant from the organization institute point of view. You have a very bad conception. People will tell you that because IIT Guwahati is preparing the question for GATE 2026 in the past 3 to 4 times, in which IIT Guwahati has prepared the GATE paper, they have asked maximum number of questions from so and so topic. But let me tell you very honestly, how exactly a GATE paper is created is not by a particular organization, no, is not defined by the organizing institute. It's a random selection. Different institutes will prepare different questions and they will select the questions randomly from the tag of those questions, just like we select the questions randomly in your test series. So we don't follow any proper approach that 8 or 9 marks question will be asked from TOC, 4 to 5 marks question will be asked from compiler design, 8 to 9 marks question will be asked from database management system. It will not happen in any of the test series, and similarly the same thing will not happen in any of the actual GATE paper as well. The questions are selected from the questions are selected randomly from the pool of question created by the faculties of different IITs. It is not the case that only the professors of IIT Guwahati will create the questions. Questions will be created by professors of all the IITs, and then the questions will be selected on random. Then the questions will be selected randomly. It's not the case the complete question paper from IIT Bombay will be selected, or the complete question paper from IIT Delhi will be selected. It is not the case. They just select the questions randomly. Okay. So don't think that because IIT Guwahati is preparing the IIT Guwahati is the organization institute, then what are the subjects I must focus on? There's nothing like that. You need to focus on all the subjects. You need to focus on all the subjects. Now, what will be the mock test plan to get some extra marks? So, again, I'll divide into stages. Stage 1, as soon as any subject is complete, you need to give the subject-wise test or subject-wise mock test, topic-wise mock test of that from that particular subject. So let's assume we are learning discrete mathematics. So if I'm done with sets and relation and graph theory, then you can choose, then you can appear for the subject-wise test of set theory and algebra and graph theory. If you are completely done with the subject of discrete mathematics, then you can choose for subject-wise test of discrete mathematics. So, how many tests must be given for the revision purpose? As I said, that revision loop and mock tests will go hand in hand. So, if you think that, oh, sir, for last 15 days, no new topic or no new subject is completed, then also it does not matter. If set theory and algebra is completed, if graph theory is completed, then you can appear for topic wise test or subject wise test of that particular subject 3 to 4 times in a month. I would just say at least 3 to 4. So every week at least one test is mandatory from now on. So starting from the month of November itself, October is already gone. October is already gone. You will be enjoying the festival of Diwali. So from the month of November, you need to give at least 3 to 4 mock tests per week, or one test every 3 to 4 days. If you can do that, that's perfectly fine. But if at all it is not possible, then at least 4 mock tests per month. At least 4 mock tests per month. That is, one mock test per week is at least mandatory. Okay. So once we appear for the mock test, what is required? So merely giving the mock test is not going to help you. The most important thing is analysis of your mock test. That is, where exactly you went wrong, where exactly you committed these silly mistakes, what are the types of questions that you were not able to attempt. So a track of the thing is, or a log must be maintained. A log must be maintained to analyze the improvement from the mock test. So analyze the mistakes topic wise. So if we are talking about topic wise test, then analyze the mistake topic wise. Maintain a error notebook. That is where exactly you went wrong. So analyze the mistake topic wise. At the same time, I will tell you that analyze that where exactly you committed the silly mistakes. That's also a mistake. And at the same time, also analyze that what type of questions you were not able to solve. If you try to give 3 to 4 mock tests of the same subject, and if there is any topic from which you are not able to solve any question in those 3 to 4 mock tests, then definitely you need to work again on that particular topic. So Analyze the mistake is important. Analyze the silly mistake is also mistake is important. Then also analyze that what are the type of questions that you were not able to solve at all, so that in the next revision, in the revision loop, you can incorporate those subjects. But order batch are too expensive, like 1500 just for basic plan. Buddy, what is expensive? Your ear or 4 or 5? I'm see, this is something I don't know how many times you ask me the very same question, Path, because only there are only 3 or 4 students. I will answer this. Just imagine that some amount of money is required to achieve something completely different in your life. So whether you will think about that money or you will think about your ultimate goal. I cannot say much, but what is expensive? A year or any amount. So time is more expensive compared to money. So if you think that while merely saving 10-15,000, I don't know, 10-15, there is no batch that require 10-15,000 if at all you are interested in GATE 2026. But merely saving 10-15,000 won't help you if you are ultimately going to waste your whole year. Just imagine the compounding that you will get after 30-35 years. So I mean, this is something that students don't understand. Ask your parents. Ask your parents. That's a Papa, if I invest 15,000 today for 25 years, what will be the return I get? Or if I save this 15,000 and I save another 15,000 in the next 5 years, will there be any benefit? So you may save 15,000 for this year. You may save another 15,000 for the next 5 years. If you are just dependent on your pocket money, then you may save 15,000 that you have collected from the previous pocket money, and then you can save another 15, 20, 20,000, 25,000 for the next 5 years. But if you keep doing so, what will be the return that you will get? And if you invest this 15,000 for a longer period of time, then what will be the return that you will get? It's not a finance class, but most of the time students will ask such silly questions, Path, and that's why I'm answering. Then don't think that what is actually being invested. Only think that what will be the return of this investment. Okay. So this phase 1, that will be subject wise test. So next will be the phase 2. So you can go into phase 2 only if at least 4 to 5 subjects, if you are done with at least 4 to 5 subjects, because phase 2 or stage 2 will eventually require to appear for the multi-subject test. Multi-subject test. So when I say that give 3 to 4 tests or give 3 to 4 tests every week, at the same time give 3 to 4 tests per week for multi-subject tests as well. So if you are done with discrete mathematics, if you are done with digital logic, if you are done with COA, then combine those 3 subjects together and try to appear for the multi-subject test. So that if we prepare for only one subject, if I'm occupied with discrete mathematics for last 1 month or 1.5 months, then if any question is asked, I'll be able to answer that particular question. But the problem will arrive when the questions are jumbled. That means one question is from discrete mathematics, all of a sudden the next question is from digital logic, and they ask a question randomly from aptitude. So then only there will be problem. So if you do not adjust yourself with the change as soon as possible, then if all the changes appear all of a sudden in front of you, then it will become very difficult. So initially, you may face some difficulty to switch between 2 to 3 subjects. Then you will become comfortable in switching between those 2 to 3 subjects because you have become comfortable with those 2 to 3 subjects. Then you will try to jumble the questions of 5 to 6 subjects. So initially you will have difficulty when you will move from the jumbling of 2 to 3 subjects to the jumbling of 5 to 6 subjects. Then ultimately you will master the jumbling of 5 to 6 subjects. Then try to jumble the subjects of, then try to jumble the questions of all the subjects. So first of all, subject wise test. Then phase 2 will be combined mock test of 2 to 3 subjects. Then when you are equipped with the jumbling of 2 to 3 subjects, then try to jumble the subjects, then try to jumble the questions of all the subjects of GATE syllabus. So each subject, when you are in the beginning phase, when you are done with 4 to 5 subjects, you can actually go into stage 2. That is, you can select the multi-subject test in which 2 to 3 subjects are involved, but you can select 2 to 3 subjects on weekly basis if and only if you are done with 5 or more subjects. Then when 80 to 90% syllabus is complete, you can actually start appearing for the full length test. That is the test in which the jumbling of all questions of all the subjects will be there, right? So next thing, but so these are phase wise, that initially you will be like, sir, that if I'm giving 3 to 4 tests per week on the subject basis, subject wise basis, how exactly I'll appear for 3 to 4 tests on per month basis for a combination of 2 to 3 subjects. So once you move from stage 1 to stage 2, then ultimately initially you have just started. So 2 or 3 subjects are not yet complete. While you move to stage 2, then at least 5 subjects are complete. So by the time you move to stage 2, you have given 3 to 4 tests of each and every subject. By the time you move to stage 2, you have given 3 to 4 subject wise tests of almost every subject. Then you will move to phase 3, that is when you will start giving the full length test, and it will happen only when you are done with 90 to 80 to 90% syllabus. That means you have given combined tests or combined mini mock tests for 2 to 3 subjects for almost all the combination of subjects. Then final strategy is, then when you are done with almost 3 to 4 subjects, 3 to 4 subject wise tests of every subject, when you are done with 4 to 5 combined mock tests of 2 to 3 subjects, and when you are done with full length mock tests or 5 to 6 full length mock tests, then you will eventually go to final stage, that is stage 4. That will almost be in the last 1 month or last 1.5 months, when you are done with almost all the subjects. When not almost, when we are done with all the subjects, I have actually appeared for 3 to 4 subject wise tests of each subject. I have actually appeared for 3 to 4 combined mini mock tests of 2 to 3 subjects. I have appeared for 4 to 5 full length mock tests. Then I'll start giving the full length mock test on alternate days basis. So for last 1 month, you must give the full length test almost on alternate day basis, and you must analyze the mistakes that you commit. You must analyze the mistakes that you commit, and every time you appear for a new test, whether you have improved in terms of previous mistakes or not. That's what you need to analyze. Okay. The next thing is mock test strategy. Previous one was also the same thing similarly. But what is important when you appear for the mock test? What is important when you gain some extra marks? Error book system. So note every silly mistake. As I said, that if you commit any silly mistake, you must know that where exactly I am committing silly mistakes, where exactly I am not able to recall the formula, or where exactly I have applied the wrong formula, where exactly I was not able to solve the question because of the conceptual, uh, because I don't have the conceptual clarity of that particular question, that is the conceptual gap. And then based on that, you need to, based on that, you need to create a weekly revision plan. And based on that, you need to create a weekly revision plan. Then that's one thing, that what is you will learn from the mock test. Then if at all you are appearing for the mock test, there will be 10 questions that will amount for 15 marks in the complete GATE paper. So try to split the time, that try to solve all the questions of aptitude within 20 marks, within 20 minutes. Try to solve all the questions of aptitude within 20 minutes. Then think that what are the core subjects from where at least questions of 40% or 30 to 40% questions are asked, and try to solve the questions of those subjects within the next 50 minutes. Then theory based question, that means where recalling is required. Please try to understand. If you know the formula, you will apply that formula, and within 45 seconds to 1 minute, you will be able to get the answer. But sometimes some MSQ questions will be there, and those MSQ questions, mostly the MSQ questions are based on theoretical knowledge of that particular subject. So MSQ questions are not formula based questions. MSQ questions are generally theory based questions. So you need to categorize the questions in terms of aptitude, then in terms of core subject, then in terms of questions. Those are theory based. So you may be like, sir, what happened with the remaining time? So 122 hours is gone. Then 10 minutes is required for the revision. Within the 50 minutes, you can select the criteria to, you can select the other type of questions. So within 20 minutes, you need to solve all the questions of aptitude. Within next 50 minutes, you need to solve the questions of the core topics. So those will be time consuming. COA will be time consuming. Operating system will be time consuming. Then within next 50 minutes, you need to solve the questions. Those are theory based. And in the end, the 10 minute is required for the revision. I mean, if you are done with the questions, you will mark the question for review, or you have marked the question as marked and review. So that revision time is required so that you can go back and check that what exactly is the answer provided by you, and if there is any change, then what should be that change. And finally, the last thing is pattern practice. So what generally happens that in GATE, you will start solving the question from question number 1 to up to question number 65. So generally, sometimes they may ask the questions based on formula in the beginning, and they may ask the question based on theory in the end, while the questions of the mixed type of questions are in between. Or sometimes they may ask the questions based on theory in the very beginning, then they may jumble the questions based on formula in the middle, and the questions that are based on theory as well as formula may appear in the end. So these are the three only categories in which I divide the questions. The questions based on formula, the questions based on in-depth knowledge of theory, and the questions that will require the theoretical knowledge as well as the conceptual clarity of the derivation of the formula, right? So this three can be jumbled in 3 factorial ways. So I would just suggest that try to try to practice in terms of different patterns, because most of the time students will get the questions based on theory in the beginning. They are more comfortable with the questions based on the formula, but they don't know that if they have read the first question, they will be like that this may be the question based on theory. So let's read the next question. Then the next question is also based on theory. Then they may be like, then this two question may be from theory. Let's read the third question. It may be a formula based question or conceptual question. But again, the third question may be based on theory. So this is the thing, that try to practice with respect to different pattern. That what if we jumble the question? What if we jumble the question? So the thing is, there are three most important parameters. One is what is your raw score? So how much marks did you get? This is one thing that you need to focus on. The second thing is accuracy. That if your accuracy is less than 80%, you should always focus on your accuracy. And the percentage of unattempted question. If at all you are not able to attempt a question, that means the conceptual gap is there and you need to fulfill that gap, right? So that's the another thing. If somebody asks me that what will be the final 3-month revision cycle, what will be the final 3-month revision cycle? So I would just say that in the first month, starting from November month itself, that please try to revise on the subject basis. That try to revise every subject and try to give the mock test of every subject. From the second month onwards, again revision is required. But focus on mixed subject tests. You have revised some of the subjects in the first month itself. Then there will be some subjects which are less revised. So please focus on the revision of those subjects and at the same time focus on the mixed subject test, right? So frequency will increase. In the beginning you can give 2 to 3 mock tests per week, then you can give 3 to 4 mixed mock tests per week. Then on the alternate basis, when you are in the final month of your preparation, those will be full length mock tests only. So in the beginning, it will be subject-wise test, then mixed subject-wise test, and the final, those will be full-length mock test. And almost every alternate day, you should give a mock test in your final month of preparation. Okay. Then the final thing, that these are nothing but pro tips that we have already discussed, that mark the repetitive concept, the D concept that are being asked again and again. 45 D gate questions are repeated from the conceptual point of view. Then focus on low effort, high score areas, that is just like compiler design, that minimum efforts are required. But if at all if at all you spare those 40-45 hours, then it is guaranteed that you will be able to score those 4 to 5 marks without any further effort. So focus on those low effort and high score areas. If we talk about those low effort and high score areas, then DBMS is CN, and DBMS, CN, and digital logic is one of that area. If you make yourself comfortable with aptitude, then also it will be helpful, because aptitude amount for a very high weightage in terms of overall marks of GATE exam. So 15 marks question will be asked from aptitude only. So create formula sheets for the subjects in which there is high weightage of formula. So when I say that create formula sheet for COA, operating system, algorithm, CN, so CN will have maximum number of formulas, and the questions are directly based on those formulas. When I say that create formula sheet for COA and operating system, then you must create the formula sheet for COA and operating system, but along with the derivation of those formulas, right? Then in the end, what is required is, then some of the questions will be tricky. sometimes they will ask the questions that require a trick. The question can be answered within 30 to 45 seconds if you are able to get the hold of that particular concept. Otherwise, the very same question may take 4 to 5 minutes. So please try to understand that what type of questions are being asked based on the tricks and what are the different types. When I say trick, it's a logic. When I say trick, it's not a short trick. There is no short trick to solve the question of GATE exam. Those tricks are basically conceptual tricks that if I know this particular concept, I'll be able to apply that. Otherwise, I'll have to spare more amount of time. So if you know that if such type of questions are generally trick based questions, so if you are able to recall that trick, then try to solve that question then and there. If you are not able to recall that trick and you know that I am utilizing a lengthier approach, and if at all I follow this approach, then this question will take time, then try to solve such questions in the end of the session. That is, when you are done with almost all the questions, that those can be answered within the given time frame, right? And the last and most important thing is, I always suggest that try to set your biological clock with the actual exam like scenario. That is, if you are supposed to appear for the GATE exam from 9 to 12 or 2:30 to 5:30, then try to give maximum of the mock test between 9 to 12 or 2:30 to 5:30, and at the same time try to ensure that you appear for the mock test in exactly like real exam like scenario, that you know that only 3 hours is there. I cannot use mobile phone, I cannot communicate with anyone else. So that will help you. Otherwise, you will never become comfortable with that particular feeling, or you will never have that mindset that is required to appear for the GATE exam. So with that, I'll end this session. So I've discussed almost all the important things. I don't know, I must not have discussed all these things in that much detail because I know that the time is less, but this is the final time. You will see me discussing such things related to GATE 2026 exam. From now onwards, I'll just tell you to focus on your preparation, enjoy the festival of Diwali at its fullest while maintaining the safety, and also try to ensure that this is your mind relaxation time. So, in the phase of Diwali, if you have any trouble that is going on in your life, then discuss it with your parents, discuss it with your friends, and try to overcome all those problems, so that once the Diwali is over, from 24th onwards, you are able to focus with 100% dedication on your ultimate goal, that is GATE 2026 exam. Nothing is going to change if you don't do that. But my only suggestion is, if you do that, perhaps most of the things will change. If you don't do that, it's all okay. I'll live the same life that I'm about to live. But I might eventually give a 180-degree turn to my life if I take some proper change decisions in my life. So with that note, I'll just say good night. Thank you very much for watching this session. Have a wonderful time. Have a happy and prosperous Diwali, but with safety, and at the same time, detox your mind, detox your body, so that from 24th or 25th onwards, you are able to focus on your preparation with 100% dedication. Thank you very much. Take care. Keep learning. Bye.